Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at some different ways that I view momentum shifts. So the momentum shifts we're going to be talking about today are decrease in momentum, which means we're really looking for a reversal, right? So when we start to see a decrease in momentum, oftentimes, not always, obviously, we're looking for a reversal opportunity. Now, we're only looking for this at key levels, okay? Now, that key level can be like a trend line, a zone, support, resistance, whatever, but it has to be some important area of structure. So just keep that in mind. We're not just looking for random reversals based on momentum change. But getting back into it, we're gonna look at a shift in momentum, what that can look like, and how I spot it. So just a few ways that I use to spot it. Another thing I should say to you guys, first thing, I'm on the daily time frame. You guys always ask me that in the video. Second, please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, it will really help me out if you hit the subscribe button. We'll just get right into it. You guys know I don't really beat around the bush too much in my videos. So we're looking at the Euro USD on the daily time frame. And the first thing I'm really gonna look at with you guys is price action. So one thing to keep in mind about price action, I'm on the daily time frame. We're going to see a lot more price action on the lower time frames. So if we switch to the 4-hour time frame, we can see a lot more candlesticks. Obviously, there are more candlesticks within that period as we kind of shift down on the time frame. So when we're looking at indecision when it comes to price action, what we're looking to see and what we'll often see, are these small bodied candles, okay? Oftentimes with rejection, but they're happening sporadically throughout, okay? So they're not happening they're not happening just because they're at a level of support or resistance, which would obviously indicate a reversal. They're happening kind of all throughout, okay? So they're not necessarily indicating any rejection. What this is telling us is that buyers and sellers can't really decide who's in control. Because remember, our candlestick is telling us where price has either opened or closed, right? That's all that's telling us. And then we also know that we have a high and a low of whatever period. So when we see these candlesticks that have, long wicks, and short bodies, and they're happening sporadically, that's really highlighting indecision. So when we start seeing that, we can tell that price might be kind of fizzling out before we get a nice reversal. So the momentum is not as strong, and momentum really, guys, is just indicating trend strength. So you can see when we have a nice strong trend, we have these long bodied candles, okay? And either buyers or sellers, now it's buyers in this case, are really taking control and pushing price upward, okay? And that's really what we're looking at there. So that's the number one thing. So look for those type of candles, and obviously then looking at price bouncing between support and resistance. That's telling us that we're seeing indecision and a lack of momentum. So that's the first thing we can do to spot it. Now, that one's pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to go over that with you. Hopefully you guys picked up on a few little things that I do there. If you have any questions about that, obviously you can let me know as well. But the second thing I want to talk about is the MACD. So I know a lot of you don't like indicators, and that's fine. I don't use momentum indicators to trade with, okay? I don't enter a trade based on this. All I use this for is to help me confirm that we're either seeing an increase or decrease in momentum. So we go back out to the daily time frame for a sec, okay? And we can see this histogram. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger. When price is strongly trending, like it is here, okay, we can see down. So look down at our histogram here. The bars on our histogram are really long, okay? Obviously the green indicate bullish and the red indicate bearish. I do have a video on MACD specifically that I'll post in the link below. I'm not going to go on too much about MACD, but just know that when these bars are long, it's indicating that, and they're right here as well, and even these ones, that we have a nice strong trend, okay? Whereas here, most of these are really, they're kind of shorter. We're not seeing a nice peak. So you can see these ones here, they kind of come up like this and you get a nice peak. We're not really getting that down here. It's more looking like this, right? And same thing over here. Now, if we go back, we can probably find, let me find some more examples of strong momentum. So over here, all of these guys here, like we're seeing really nice, strong momentum. And then here, this would be another example. You can see how they're shorter. There's no real big peak, indicating indecision. So that's another way you can look at your chart and say, okay, I'm seeing some indecision here. If I'm at a key level, I can start looking at, if I'm at a significant level, I can start looking at reversal opportunity. Now, I'm by no means indicating that we're going to see a reversal here on Euro USD. And I'll tell you why I'm not sure if that's going to happen. There are actually two things. If you were to look at the Cot Report right now, I don't remember if I did a video on this or not, but if I didn't, I promise I will. I have a lot of videos coming out. But if you go to tradingstar.com, okay, and look at the Cot Report for the Euro, it's going to tell you right now that, actually, let's bring it up really quick. Let's bring it up. So if we go to Trading Start, so these are called the Cot Report. I'm not going to get into what they mean in too much detail. All I will tell you, so we're going to click into here, which is just the Cot Report. That's what I clicked on. And basically this is telling us where the institutional traders and the hedge funds are putting their money. And we can actually see that the institutional traders are adding to their short positions, okay, while the hedge funds are taking away from their short positions. So which means usually in the shorter term, we could see an increase in demand, or we could see more bullish, a little bit more of a bullish rally. Now, because this is so conflicting, like sometimes when you look at the Cot Report, it'll be really black and white, meaning like they would add, negative 10, or they would subtract 10,000 positions from short positions, and then they'd add long positions. That's not really happening right now. I think there's a lot of indecision happening here. So I wouldn't necessarily use this, but let me know in the comments below if you want a full detailed video on exactly how to use this, because I don't think I have one up. I think it's on my Instagram, but this is an awesome, awesome tool to keep up with what the banks are doing, okay? So looking at that, we don't really know too much about what they're doing, so we can't really use that as confluence. That's what I was going to look at, and I hadn't really looked at it, okay? So that's the next thing I would look at. But the most important thing we can look at here, like we need to go back, like I said, so let's draw a zone at this level, which really would be, let's just say here. Let's go to the weekly time frame for a second so I can draw this in a little bit more accurately, So what I'm actually going to do is move this up and double click here. And I will do a video on zones, because I draw zones differently depending on a whole bunch of things. And I know I do have one on it, but it's old. So I'll create another video on that soon, guys. Okay, so here's our zone. Now I want to go back and again, ensure that this level has some significance. So you can see our price almost hit it there. I know I don't have that drawn in the best way either, by the way. And right here, a little bit here. So I could say, yeah, so this level has definitely, it's not as significant as the other one we were looking at, but there obviously is some significance there, meaning, price has respected it before. Okay, so it wouldn't be completely weird or odd for it to be respected and price completely reject this level. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is, let's just delete this so that I can see it clearly, our patterns. So patterns can actually indicate indecision as well, right? And the one particular pattern I'm seeing here, I don't know if you guys are seeing this at all, because I know patterns are so subjective, but is a rising wedge, okay? So I'm seeing a rising wedge here. I didn't draw that top line the best. Let me kind of redraw that in. I'm just gonna Oops. Now, I'm not perfect at drawing these clearly, but this is what I'm noting right now. And the thing about a wedge, so a wedge, it looks like that. You can Google it to see a prettier version, but that's the gist of it. And the thing about a wedge is it can be a continuation pattern or a reversal. Now, this is a rising wedge, okay? Because it's slanted upward. So it's a rising wedge. So it can be a continuation or a reversal. However, where it's happening during an uptrend, it's usually indicating a reversal and not a continuation pattern. Okay, so it'd be more, if we were in a downtrend, we could possibly look at a continuation, but most often we're going to see a reversal. Now, that being said, guys, I really don't rely too much on patterns. I think like when we're looking at patterns, you want to look at the most common ones. So like triangles, all of our different triangles, head and shoulders, things like that, they tend to be respected more because more people are looking at them. The wedge patterns are not as kind of popular, but we definitely are seeing that. So you could use this as compliments. Okay. So that's the last thing I wanted to mention. So there's definitely the possibility of a reversal here, and how I would go about this. Let me just really quickly get rid of this. How I would go about this is I'd look at this zone and I've confirmed that it's respected. We just went back, we confirmed that it was respected. I look for it to be respected at least 3 times in order to use it as a zone. And then I'd want to wait for, I wouldn't enter here. So sometimes what I'll do, guys, when I see price approach a zone, if I get a strong retest and a bounce down, I'll enter. I'm definitely not going to do that here. And the reason being, we're seeing too much indecision, and it's in the middle of an uptrend. So I would need to trade on a breakout here. So what I would do is draw another, I'd look at this support zone. Again, I'd go back and confirm that that's, a significant area. And then I'd wait for price to break out of it. Okay. And I'd trade on the breakout. And when I do trade on the breakout, just so you guys know what I'm looking for, let me change my color here. Okay. I'm looking for a nice long bodied candle to close out of my zone. So it needs to actually close in order for me to use it. And I think that's it, you guys. I'm going to leave it there. I know I've been talking for quite a bit. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, to give it a thumbs up. And again, don't forget to subscribe and keep letting me know what types of videos you want to see. That really helps me. If you want me to do the Cot Report video, I can do that tomorrow. And I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.